again, sweetheart?
Beast Academy.
Say it a little slower and a little more clearly. I'm so sorry, I can't understand.
Beast Academy.
Explain it a little bit.
She means she did some Beast Academy work.
What kind of work was that?
It's a Beast Academy. It is
Oh, Beast. I know Beast. That's wonderful. Did you enjoy doing Beast?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, next time, why don't you bring us a wonderful problem from Beast and we can try to solve it as a group. I would love to do that. Now,
Okay.
I'm going to share something with you guys, and it is a special question. And I'm going to read it to you at first. Are you ready? There's a boy named Shamar. He likes playing video games. He played a game called Loco. He was given some local coins at the beginning of the game. Now, first, he spent 5 local coins to buy tools. Number 2, then he used the new tools to dig out 16 more local coins, and he kept them. At the end of the game, he had a total of 19 local coins. So the question is, how many local coins was he given at the beginning? And what I want everybody to do right now is I want everybody to please, let's write down the letter B to represent the number of loco coins at the beginning. So he had B coins. Then what does it mean when it says that he spent 5? Do we add 5 to the B? Do we subtract it? Do we multiply it? Do we divide it? Which operation means we spent it, Catherine?
Minus.
And what do you think, Eleanor?
Minus.
And Jason?
Minus.
Yes, and we call it minus or subtract. So everybody write down B minus 5. And that means I don't know how many coins he had, but I would say he had B coins. And if he had B coins at the beginning and he spent 5, I agree with Catherine, Jason, and Eleanor, who said subtract 5. But what does it mean that he used the new tools to dig out 16 more? What do we do with 16? Jason, what do you think we do with when he dug out 16 more coins and he kept them? What operation did he use? And what do you think, Eleanor? Is it addition?
Yes.
And Catherine, do you agree?
Yes.
So everybody write down B minus 5 plus 16. Now, at the end of the game, he had 19 coins. So what do you think I should do now with 19? I'm going to put 19 over here. What goes in between B minus 5 plus 16 and 19? Who has an idea? about this. And it sounds like, Jason, you have an idea. What do you think, buddy?
Equals.
So equals is not an operation, but it is, it becomes an equation. So everybody write down b minus 5 plus 16 equals 19. Now, the big question is, what do you think is the value of B? How many coins did he have at the beginning? Now, who has an idea what we should do first? You have this beautiful equation in front of you. What do you think we should do first, guys? And I'm going to ask Catherine. Catherine, of all the things we could do here, what do you think we should do first?
What do you mean do first?
So we have to find out what B is. I need something to do here. Eleanor, what are you thinking about?
16 minus 5.
Ooh, Jason, what do you think about 16 minus 5? Do you like that idea? And guys, everybody, what is
5 equals 8.
Wait a minute. 16 minus 5. Everybody, what is 16 minus 5?
11.
So B plus 11 equals 19. Everybody write that down. Everybody write that down. Write the B below the B. The 16 minus 5, you put the 11 under that, and the equal sign under the equal sign, the 19 under the 19. Now, everybody, I already heard Jason say the answer. What do you think we need to do now to find out what B is? What do we have to do to both sides of this equation? What do you think, Eleanor?
19 minus 11.
Yes, but wait a minute. I want everybody to say it out loud. We're going to subtract 11, not just from 19, but from both sides. Everybody say, subtract 11 from both sides.
Subtract 11 from both sides.
And who can tell me, this is kind of a funny question. Who can tell me what is 11 minus 11?
0.
And B, what is B plus 0?
0.
No, what is B plus 0?
B.
Yeah, wait a minute. What is Jason plus 0?
Jason.
What is Catherine plus 0?
Catherine.
What is Eleanor plus Catherine? You know what? That would be trouble for any mathematician, because that would be quite the team. So we know that B plus 0 equals B, and everybody say it out loud. 19 minus 11 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
8.
And guess what? We now know that at the beginning of the game, Samar had 8 loco coins. He took away 5 and had 3. He added 16 to have 19. And we as a team used algebra to solve this equation. How many of you love letters in your mathematics? Isn't letters the most fun? I mean, everybody wants numbers, but not Mr. Kramer. I love letters that represent numbers. It's so much fun. So now we're going to do another question that is going to take some interesting thinking on your part. Kathy is Ken's sister. Kathy is 5 feet 3 inches tall. Now, when we write that, we can write Kathy, and we really can't, maybe what we can do is let's give Kathy the letter S for sister, because we can't really use K for Kathy because Ken, his name also starts with K. So let's call Ken B for brother, and let's call Kathy S for sister. Now, Kathy, sister, equals how many feet and inches? Who can tell me how tall Kathy is? Who can tell me how tall Kathy is? Any ideas? Jason, do you want to raise your hand, buddy? Go ahead. Raise your hand first. Go for it, Jason. How tall is Kathy?
16.
Yes, yes. Now, we're going to write down, everybody write this down right now. S equals 5 feet 3 inches. So when we write feet, we can write it with a little apostrophe. I don't know if you know the keyboard on a computer, but if you go look at the middle row, A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, then there's a semicolon, and then there's something called an apostrophe. And that apostrophe stands for feet. Now, inches is a quotation mark. So the quotation mark is above the apostrophe, and that means inches. So we can write 5 apostrophe 3 quotation to represent 5 feet 3 inches tall. Now, Ken is Kathy's brother. Can you tell me, Eleanor, how tall is Ken? So B equals what?
4 feet and 10 inches.
And Catherine, how do we write it with this special notation?
So
How do we write it with the special notation, Catherine? Can you tell us? Can you say it out loud? Oh, I saw what you wrote. Now say it out loud and I'll be so excited.
basically, like the foot is like one line on the top, and then like for inches there's like 2 lines on the top.
Right. Remember, the one line for feet is called apostrophe. Can everybody say apostrophe?
Apostrophe.
Now say it really fast. Apostrophe.
Apostrophe.
Okay, it sounds ridiculous to say it fast. I agree. Let's say it slower. Apostrophe.
Apostrophe.
And so we say, and by the way, do you guys see this apostrophe here?
Yes.
And that apostrophe is called the possessive. It refers to Ken's sister. Kathy is the sister of Ken. So that apostrophe doesn't mean feet. It is part of our grammar in English. English is a very strange language, not very easy to learn. There are a lot easier languages than English, just so you know. Now, the quotation, this is called a quotation mark. So whenever somebody says something in a book, like let's say that I say to you that J, E, and C and S and V are great mathematicians. And if Mr. Kramer said it, I would put it in quotations. Now that doesn't mean inches. It just means that Mr. Kramer just said that Jason and Eleanor and Catherine and Stella and Valerie are great mathematicians. And that's what quotation marks do in English. But in mathematics, it means inches. Now, the question is, if there are 12 inches in 1 foot, then how much taller is Kathy than her brother Ken? And I want you guys to think of it algebraically. So for instance, S for Kathy equals B for Ken plus how many inches? Remember, there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So 10 is pretty close. 10 inches is pretty close to 1 foot. All right. So who thinks they know how many inches Ken is shorter than his sister, and how many inches is his sister taller than Ken? Who thinks they know? And I'm going to give you a little hint. I'm going to put 5 feet right in the middle because I'm thinking how many inches to get to 5 feet from 4 feet, 10 inches, and how many inches to get to 5 feet, 3 inches. And then we can add them together. It's kind of like a funny subtraction problem. Who thinks they know? Eleanor, what are you thinking about, sweetheart? What are you thinking about?
You?
Oh, I agree that 2 inches goes from 4 feet, 10 inches to 5 feet. Yep. But we have to add something to get to 5 feet, 3 inches. Jason, what do we have to add?
12 inches.
Well, if we're at 5 feet and we want to get to 5'3", how many more inches do we need? How many more inches do we need from 5 feet to 5 feet, 3 inches? What do you think, Catherine?
3 inches.
Right. So if you need 2 inches and 3 inches, together they make what?
5.
That is correct. The answer to this problem is 5 inches. Kathy is 5 inches taller than her brother. I'm going to give you guys one more just like this. So does anyone here know their height in feet and inches? Or do you know the height of either of your parents? And if they're there now, they could share with you how many feet and how many inches they are. So who wants to share? You can do either yourself or your parents. So who's gonna share with Mr. Kramer? Okay, Catherine, go for it, kiddo.
My dad is feet is 5 and 7 inches.
So 5 feet, 7 inches. So C's dad equals, right? C's dad equals 5 feet, 7 inches. Now, everybody write that down. Now, I've got something special for you guys. Are you ready for this? Jason, go ahead, honey. Jason, what were you saying, buddy?
My mom.
Yes.
Is 5 means feet.
5 feet.
Inches.
How many inches?
5 inches.
Can you hold up your hands? Because I couldn't hear the number.
5.
5 feet of 5 inches.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, how much taller is Catherine's dad than Jason's mom? Raise your hand. Don't say it out loud. How much taller? So you're looking really for the difference. This is a subtraction problem, or you can start with 5 feet, 5 inches and add. So come on, guys. What do you think? On 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
2 inches.
Right, 2 inches. Now, you're not gonna believe this, but Mr. Kramer has a nephew. Now, my nephew's name is Eric. Eric is 6 feet, 5 inches. Whoa, he is like a tree. He is like a tree. Now, I have a question for you. In fact, I have a few questions. How much taller is Eric than Jason's mom? So if you looked at Eric's height and Jason's mom's height, how much taller is Eric than Jason's mom? Raise your hand, and I'm gonna call on Eleanor first. And you can answer this in 2 ways, Eleanor. Go for it.
1 feet 12 inches.
Wait a minute. Is it 1 foot 12 inches? Or can you answer the question as 1 foot taller or 12 inches taller?
12 inches taller.
Right. So you can actually say that Eric, and I'm going to write this out, we can say that Eric is 12 inches or 1 foot taller than Jason's mom. Now, I have my next question for you is this. Mr. Kramer is 5 feet 9 inches tall. Now the question is, how much taller is Eric than Mr. Kramer? So remember, Eric is my nephew. I knew him when he was this small. Now he is this big. How much taller? So what we're going to do is we're going to actually put this information on the next page. We're going to write down E equals 6 feet 5 inches, and Mr. Kramer equals 5 feet 9 inches. And what I want you guys to do is use 6 feet and think of how far do I have to go from 5 feet 9 to 6 feet, and from 6 feet to 6 feet 5 inches. You can answer either of those questions. We're going to have 2 answers, and then we're going to add them together. So who wants to do the 5 feet 9 to get to 6 feet? So here's Mr. Kramer at 5 feet 9, and then here's 6 feet. How many more inches is 6 feet than 5 feet 9? Jason, what do you think?
1 inches.
Everybody write this down. 3 inches. And then, Catherine, how many inches is it from 6 feet up to 6 feet 5 inches? How many more inches?
5.
That's right. And Eleanor, if you add the 5 and the 3, how much taller is Eric than his uncle, Mr. Kramer?
8.
That's right. Can you believe that my nephew is 8 inches taller? Wow, that's pretty big. Now, I have a crazy question for you. Are you ready? How many inches is Mr. Kramer? Now, we know that I am 5 feet. Well, actually, let's use algebra. K equals 5 feet 9 inches. So how many inches are there in 1 foot? So 1 foot equals how many inches? Everybody say it on 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
12.
Yes, very, very good. So I'm going to write down 12. Hold on a second. I'm going to write this a little smaller, and I'm going to write 12 inches. Now, we have to do 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 9. Now, everybody write that down. 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 9. Now, remember, we're really doing multiplication here. We're doing 5 times 12, and we're doing it with addition, repeated addition. So who wants to count with me, everybody? Let's do it. 2, 4,
4,
6,
8, 10, 19.
right. So everybody put a 9, carry the 1, and drum roll on 3. How many inches is Mr. Kramer on 3? 1, 2, 3, go.
69. 69.
Wow. Mr. Kramer is 69 inches tall. Now, that's pretty tall, but that has nothing in common with Eric, because Eric is way, way taller at 6. Remember, Eric is E equals 6 feet 5 inches. Now, does anybody know what is 6 times 12? Because that would allow us to get the number of inches in 6 feet. So who thinks they know that multiplication, and of course, you can always write down 12 6 times, and that doesn't take very long at all. You want to count with me? Let's go. 2,
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
12. A 2, carry the 1. And remember, this is 6 feet. 6 plus 1 is?
7.
Now, how many inches tall is Eric? How many?
72.
That would be a 6 foot.
77.
Yes. Jason, why did you say 77?
72. 12 plus 5 equals 77.
Nice job. Very nice job. Now, guys, Eric is 77 inches. Mr. Kramer thought he was so tall, but no way. He is shorter than Eric. Eric is 77 inches tall. So I hope that you like thinking about people and their height. And maybe by next week, you can figure out how tall you are in feet and inches, and then maybe just in inches. All right, let's do it. The next question, everybody get ready for more algebra. Now, if you guys get a little hungry, if you get a little bit hungry, I will understand, because we're going to be talking about cupcakes and cookies. And Mr. Kramer is a big cupcake and cookie eater. So, but I'll make sure I share with you if I ever have cupcakes or cookies. Now, cookies weigh 15 grams each. How can we write this as an algebraic equation? And what letter would you guys like to use for cookies? What letter do you think we should use? C equals what? 15. So every cookie, one cookie equals 15 grams. Now, cupcakes weigh 45 grams, but guess what, guys? It starts with the same letter. So if we're going to make cookies C, What letter should we choose for cupcakes? Go ahead, Eleanor.
C.
If we do C, then how are we going to distinguish between cookies and cupcakes? We need a different letter. What do you think, Catherine?
I don't know.
Jason, what would be a good letter to use? Go ahead, Jason.
U. U.
Oh, U.
U.
I like it. Let's use U. So we can write down U equals 45. Everybody write that down. C equals 15. That's C for cookies. And I'm even going to write the word cookies and U for cupcakes. And then just because I like to underline letters, I'm going to underline the C in cookies and the U in cupcakes. Now, what do you think I should draw on top of each cupcake? What number do you think I should write there? Go ahead, Catherine.
45.
Like I should write 45 here, or should I write 45 in what?
What do you mean in what?
Well, can I write 45 in the middle of the two cupcakes? Where would you like me to write the 45?
On the cupcake.
Oh, because each cupcake weighs 45. So you could actually say that 45 plus 45 is the amount of grams on the left side of the scale. Now, who knows what 45 plus 45 is? Write that down, please. Write that down. And let's add 5 plus 5 to get what?
10. 10.
And 4, 4, and 1 make?
9.
9.
9.
Therefore, 2U equals 90. 2 cupcakes. 2 cupcakes equals 90 grams. Now, the question is, how many cookies should be placed on the right side of the scale in order to balance the scale? Remember our equations? All equations have equal signs. This triangle really is like an equal sign. And Jason, do you want to raise your hand before you call out an answer, please? What would you like to say? Go ahead, buddy.
90 divided 15 equals 16.
Yes. Yes. 90 divided by 15 equals 6. So you're going to need 6 cookies. And let's see if we can make that happen, guys. Are you ready? I'm going to see if I can. I got this special program here. You guys ready? I can actually copy 6. Whoops. No, I didn't like that picture. I'm going to try it again. And I'm going to copy 6 cookies. And let's send it right here. And we're going to take those 6 cookies and we're going to put them right on the scale. Now, remember, each one of the cookies is 15 grams. So 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15 more. So if we write out 15 6 times, everybody look at what we have. 15 times 6. Now let's count by fives, everybody. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. 5.
5, 10,
15, 20,
15,
25, 30.
20, 25, 30.
Now we're going to do it as a team. Eleanor, we need you. We need you, Eleanor. We're going to do this as a team. Everybody follow what I draw. Are you ready? Go. 5.
5,
10, 15,
15,
20, 25,
25, 30.
30.
Right. So 30 and then 6 ones plus 3 equals, you say it.
9.
And guess what? And guess what? We now know that 2 cupcakes equals the same weight as 6 cookies. And we can actually write this as an algebraic equation. Everybody write out 2u equals 6c. Now, I have a special challenge for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What happens if Mr. Kramer puts 10 cupcakes on the scale? How many cookies would I have to put on the other side to make it equal? Now, think before you say anything. Do not call the answer out. 2 times what number equals 10? And then do the same thing with 6. So everybody, 2 times what equals 10? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
5,
2 times 5 equals 6.
So therefore, don't say it out loud yet. Write it down. How many cookies would equal 10 cupcakes? Remember, we're now doing 6 times 5. And remember what we got when we just added 5 and 5 and 5 and 5 and 5 and 5 6 times. All right, on 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
30,
30 cookies. Wait a minute. What if Mr. Kramer had 100 cupcakes? Then he would have how many cookies?
300
300 cookies.
cookies.
Wait a minute. Why stop there? What if I had 1,000 cupcakes? How many cookies?
3,000.
3,000.
Now,
3,000.
now I have to say, guys, every cookie,
再加100个。
now you're not going to like this, guys, but every cookie, 1 cookie equals 200 calories. Now, if Mr. Kramer eats 3,000 cookies and each one of them is 200 calories, who can tell me what is 3 times 2? Go.
6,
And how many zeros do we have to put after the 6?
1,000.
How many zeros?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone who can read this number? This is the number of calories that Mr. Kramer would have ingested. And I would get very, very sick eating 3,000 cookies. Jason, how many calories is that?
600,000.
Yep, 600,000 calories. And you should know that you guys probably eat less than 2,000 calories a day. So that would probably keep you busy for many, many, many years. So my recommendation to you is 1 cookie is good, maybe even 1 cupcake, but that's about it. Do not follow Mr. Kramer's crazy obsession with cookies. Okay, we're gonna do the next challenge. And I love the next challenge because it has to do with a game. And I love games. So Bella and Emil went to an arcade and they played a game of skee ball. Now, at the end of the game, Bella had 28 points. Emil said, if you give me 5 of your points, then we would have the same number. How many points did Emil have? So we're going to say that Bella equals how many points at the end? How many points? Bella equals what, guys? B equals what?
28.
28. Now, remember, if Bella gives 5 points to Emil, they will be equal. But right now, the question is, how many points does Emil have if he needs 5 of Bella's to be equal? So that is the question. And I want you guys to think about this. And I always like for you to write it down and test it. Write it down and test it. How many points do you think Emil had? All right. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Jason, what do you think, buddy?
18. 18.
18. Now that's really interesting, Jason, because 18 is 10 less than 28. But everybody watch what Jason did. He said, if we take 5 away from Bella and we give those 5 points to Emil, they will both have the same. Now, Catherine, I want to ask you, how many points will they now have if Bella gives Emil 5 of her points?
23.
Yes. And guys, check that out. That means that Bella minus 5 equals Emil plus 5. Isn't that a beautiful equation? I mean,
Yeah.
look how beautiful is that equation. Now, I have another question for you. How many total points do they have? And this is for Eleanor. Eleanor, how many total points do they have? And you can add it two different ways. One of them is easier than the other. And take your time, honey. Take your time. Don't rush. And you write it down too, Jason and Catherine. So Eleanor, what do you think?
46.
Oh, now which one did you add? Did you add 28 plus 18, or did you add 23 plus 23?
23 plus 23.
You, Eleanor, did the exact same thing Mr. Kramer would have done. I would definitely have added the 23s. But Catherine, can we check our work to see if Eleanor is right? What is 8 plus 8?
16.
And when we carry the 1, Jason, what is 1 plus 2 plus 1?
4.
Yep. So Bella plus E. Now watch this, guys. I have a new equation for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Bella plus Emil equals what?
46.
46.
That's right. Now, what if I told you that Eleanor has 30 points and Catherine has 20 points and Jason has 25 points? The question is, how many points would Eleanor have to give away and to whom in order for everybody to have the same number of points? And that way E would equal C, which would equal J. How many would Eleanor have to give away and to whom would she have to give it? Come on, Eleanor, Catherine, Jason, how many would Eleanor have to give away? Jason, how many and to whom would she give it to?
5.
To whom?
4. E. 2. C.
Ah, Catherine, you will gain 5 points because Eleanor is very, very generous. And now all of you will have exactly how many points? Go.
25. 20.
Now, can we say now new equation? You ready? E plus C plus J equals how many points? Don't say it out loud. Think about it. 3 25s. You could think of what happens when your parents give you 3 quarters, how many cents you have. That's one way of thinking about it. All right, Catherine, what do you think?
65.
That's really, really close. Now, let's see. Eleanor, do you have a different answer? Because if we add, Catherine, if we add 3 5s, we get 15. And 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 is not 6, it's
7.
right. So Eleanor and Jason, do you see that 3 quarters is 75? So Eleanor, Catherine and Jason together add up to 75. Now, my question to you is this. If Eleanor equals Catherine, which equals Jason, which equals 25, and Stella equals Valerie, and they also have 25 points, what is the total of E plus C plus J plus S plus V? And that is our final question of the day. Who can tell me? Or we can count by 25s. Let's do it. Ready? Go. 25.
25.
50.
75.
100. 125.
And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And therefore, we know that 5 times 25 equals 125 points. Wow, that was awesome. Now, don't forget, 125 is a cubic number. 125 is called a cubic number. Why is it cubic? Because if you have a cube that is 5 by 5 by 5, it will have exactly a volume of 125 cubic units. And each one of these little cubic units is kind of going to look like this. If you guys have a Rubik's Cube at home, you can try to look and see how many cubic units is in a Rubik's Cube. How many of you have Rubik's Cubes at home? Yeah? Yeah? And you know what? I want to show you a picture of a 5 by 5 by 5. Whoops. Here we go. Let us see if Mr. Kramer can give you a quick picture. Because my son, Michael, actually solves Rubik's Cubes of any size and shape. He can do a 3 by 3 by 3. He can do a 4 by 4 by 4, 5 by 5 by 5. Are you guys ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So I want you guys to think about how, remember, this is 125 cubic units. Wow, that is a lot of cubic units. Remember, each one of these cubes add up to make 125. Everybody now say goodbye to your friends and say, I'll see you next week. Have fun with
Thank you.
math.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.